Most people think new real estate agents fail because they're lazy. They're wrong. I've spent nearly 20 years in this industry. I've been the #1 residential agent at CBRE for 5 consecutive years. I've built my own company, plus agency. I've interviewed, trained, and worked alongside hundreds of agents. And after all these years, I've realised something. People don't fail because they can't sell. They fail because they misunderstand what the first year is actually for. My name is Peter Lee. I came to Australia from a small town in China. I didn't grow up with connections. English wasn't my first language. I had to learn business, culture, communication, and confidence at the same time. Real estate became my classroom. And what it taught me wasn't just how to sell property. It taught me how people think, how trust is built, how confidence is earned, and why success usually arrives much later than people expect. If you're thinking about becoming a real estate agent, or you're already in your first year, this video might completely change the way you see your career. Because the biggest lie in real estate is this: your first year is about making money. It isn't. Your first year is about becoming the person who will eventually make money. They're completely different things. I remember watching new agents start on the same day. One would arrive every morning full of energy. The other looked quiet. The confident one would tell everyone about the commissions he was going to make. He'd spend time designing business cards, posting motivational quotes, buying expensive suits, and imagining the lifestyle. The quieter one asked questions. He watched experienced agents. He practiced listing presentations after work. He called people even when nobody answered. He wrote notes after every appointment. 3 months later, the confident one started disappearing from the office. 6 months later, he blamed the market, the clients, the economy, the company. By the end of the year, he had left real estate. The quieter one? He wasn't making huge commissions either, but every month he was becoming a little better, a little more confident, a little more trusted. 3 years later, people thought he was naturally talented. He wasn't. He simply understood what year one was really for. And that's the first lesson. Year one is not about income. It's about identity. People ask me all the time, "Peter, how do I become successful in real estate?" Almost nobody asks, "Peter, what kind of person do I need to become before success arrives?" That's the real question. Because clients don't choose agents based on who needs the commission. They choose the person who gives them certainty. And certainty can't be faked. It's earned through hundreds of conversations, hundreds of follow-ups, hundreds of mistakes. Here's the second reason most new agents fail. They chase motivation instead of building routines. Everyone starts excited. Nobody starts disciplined. Motivation gets you through Monday. Discipline gets you through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, especially Friday afternoon when nobody answers the phone. The best agents I've ever worked with weren't the most charismatic. They were the most consistent. They made calls whether they felt like it or not. They followed up whether the client replied or not. They kept learning, even after losing deals. People think top agents are extraordinary. Most of them are actually very ordinary. They just repeat ordinary actions for extraordinary lengths of time. The third mistake is believing this business is about property. It isn't. It's about people. A buyer isn't buying an apartment. They're buying confidence. A vendor isn't hiring your marketing. They're hiring certainty. Every negotiation, every inspection, every listing presentation is really an emotional conversation. That's why 2 agents can have exactly the same property and completely different results. One sells confidence, the other sells features. Confidence wins every time. The fourth reason people fail is because they personalize rejection. Here's something I wish somebody had told me earlier. When someone says no, most of the time, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the timing, or the price, or the uncertainty, or they're simply not ready. One of the biggest commissions I ever earned didn't happen because I had the perfect pitch. It happened because I stayed in touch long after everyone else disappeared. Follow-up isn't chasing. Follow-up is respecting that people's lives move at different speeds. The final reason new agents fail is the saddest one. They quit too early. Imagine planting a tree. You water it every day for 6 months. Nothing happens. Then one morning, you decide it isn't working, so you stop. What you don't realise is the roots were growing the entire time. Real estate is exactly the same. The first year isn't when people see your growth. It's when your roots are growing underground. Your reputation, your confidence, your communication, your relationships. Those things compound. Not overnight, over years. Looking back now, becoming the #1 agent at CBRE wasn't one decision. Building Plus Agency wasn't one breakthrough. Riding from zero to real estate hero wasn't one moment. They were all the result of thousands of small decisions that nobody ever saw. That's why I believe real estate is one of the greatest teachers of business. It teaches patience, discipline, resilience, communication, leadership, human behaviour. The houses are just the classroom. The people are the lesson. So if you're in your first year, stop measuring yourself by your commission. Instead, ask yourself these 5 questions every Friday. Did I become more confident this week? Did I help more people this week? Did I improve my communication this week? Did I strengthen my reputation this week? Did I become someone future clients will trust? Because if the answer is yes, the commissions will eventually follow. Maybe not this month, maybe not this year, but they will come. That's the lesson I wish someone had taught me when I started. It's also one of the biggest reasons I wrote From Zero to Real Estate Hero. Not to motivate people. Motivation fades. Structure lasts. If this video helped you see real estate differently, subscribe. Every week I'll share stories from building a career, a business, and a life through real estate. Because this channel isn't really about property. It's about success, business, money, and human behaviour, seen through the lens of real estate. I'll see you in the next one.